Hi, it's me, MC of Healthy by George. I want to talk to you about the GLP-1 drugs. The first oral pill has been approved as of December 2025. The oral Wegovy is out. I don't know exactly what they're calling it, but apparently it's available starting this January, which is terrific. That's going to make more of these drugs available. So there's a lot of things that are really happening when it comes to the GLP-1 receptor agonists. And I'm really happy that I'm as far along as I have been because I've been on this medication. I'm on Manjaro for 2.5 years. I've lost close to 50 pounds and I still want to continue. I haven't maxed out on the dosing for Manjaro. I'm just saw my endocrinologist. So I want to share with you the update for GLP-1s, the good, the bad, the ugly, and also think about subscribing. I would love to see you here each week where we can share and encourage each other to do something daily to help ourselves get older and be functional well into our 80s and 90s. Please subscribe, push that like button, share. It would be wonderful for me. I would love to know that you are getting benefit from this. I'm a researcher of over 30 years and I love sharing this information because it's sometimes very hard to understand how some of these health informations, medications, tools apply to me. And that's what got me interested in science to begin with. I'm a singer, I'm a performer, but I became extraordinarily curious. It's been a very interesting journey. So, what's exciting is that the GLP-1s continue to be beneficial and its safety has become better. We know more about it. They've taken off the suicidal ideation on these medications. They've expanded their use to include, what is it? They're including, I think, metabolic dysfunction, associated steatohepatitis. They call it MASH. It's a liver dysfunction, MASH specific therapy. So they've got some potential for that to help. And basically, it's for sleep apnea, cardiovascular risk. These are all the approved medications. The two for the oral drug are coming out. And what's really lovely is that this is a once daily pill that you take on an empty stomach, and it does create a 14 to 15% weight loss in the research. And they're hoping that it'll come out as $150 a month initially. And then as you go up in the dose, the price will go up too. I'm hoping that eventually this is going to become a moderate priced medication. We still don't know. And it does help you maintain weight loss. I've been able to maintain, despite all the things I went through last year with my hip replacement, coming off the drug, getting back on the drug, not being able to move around much. I have to say, I was able to really maintain my weight loss. I haven't lost more than the 50 pounds. And now that I'm able to walk more, move more, do some good exercise, I think I can start to benefit. But I did talk to my endocrinologist the past week, and we're going up to the 12.5 dose on Mounjaro, the injection. So I'm going to be taking the next to the highest dose starting next week. And I'm a little hesitant about that because the side effects are always the side effects. That's what we all have to contend with this medication. It's the constipation, the indigestion, the weird discomfort you get sometimes with your stomach. But I've got a system in place, which I think is key. When you are using these medications, you really have to work with your doctor to help you deal with the side effects. If you don't, you get too discouraged to stay on the medication, which happens with a lot of patients. But now that we have this oral drug and it seems like the side effects seem to be a little less, it's going to be easier for people to take this medication and maybe a little less expensive. And it's also helpful to see that these drugs are becoming beneficial for other things than just weight loss and diabetes. This is a fascinating medication, which is encouraging because these are areas of conditions that the medical professional has been stumped by. The fact that we can help people with weight loss. And I love it that Oprah came out with her book talking about how she blamed herself. I blame myself too about being overweight for so many years. I thought it was my fault. And walking around with that is debilitating. And now, taking these medications, you start to see how difficult it is for your body to move past a set point without some help. I'm not sure what the dysfunction is, and I'm not sure we truly understand. I know that I can't just take the medicine and not pay attention to my nutrition, as Mr. Pete kind of shakes in the background. I have to pay attention to my nutrition. Am I eating enough fiber? Am I reducing the sugar? Am I eating enough protein? Am I moving? It has to be a well-rounded program that you do additionally with the medication. So as I look at the issues around this medication and the more of the things that are coming out, Eli Lilly is coming out with an oral medication that'll also be helpful as a maintenance drug eventually. It'll help you maintain your weight loss after you come off the injectables. They have an ongoing trial. There's a triple agonist, which has shown almost 29% of weight loss and pain reduction. That's interesting in obesity. It helps knee osteoarthritis. So they're looking to submit it to the FDA this year. Interesting. The triple agonist. There's something about these medications that really do something, and I'm not sure how they really work. And it looks like they're becoming safer. We don't have the suicidal approach. They have other side effects, like the GI problem. Apparently, there's also a chronic cough that could be due to acid reflux and some nerve stimulation in the esophagus. But they're looking into that. There is something about the brain effect, and I think Oprah talked about that in one of her interviews. When I started taking Manjaro, I did feel like something clicked and just turned off that overstimulated thinking about food. And it was magnificent. It was like someone had cleaned the glass that I'd never been able to look through. If you're thinking about using these medications, or you've tried it in the past and you were discouraged by the side effect, or you didn't like the injectables and now there's a pill and it's become more affordable, maybe this is something that you really should reconsider. I know how much I struggled for years with weight issues. Sometimes I would throw in the towel and abandon all hope. And then sometimes I would keep tracking everything. And no matter what I did, I would hit a wall and not be able to lose any more weight, no matter what I did. So it's can be super discouraging to be working so hard and still not see any progress. But I feel more encouraged after starting this medication and seeing how I have a system in place. I take the medication. I know what I'm eating. I track the calories. I track the carbs. I track the fiber. I track my water. And it is so useful to see how much information fuels my progress. It helps me understand the daily steps I need to take. Am I perfect? No, not by a long shot. I still have this sweet tooth. I still have emotional eating. There's some things going on in my life right now that are somewhat emotional. And so it's difficult. I've eaten more calories than I normally eat. But you know what? So be it. I don't normally eat that many calories. So what? It's okay. Just track it anyway. It's information. That's the key. I've embraced a growth mindset. So it's about becoming curious. Why did I need to have more calories on that day? I'm working with the isolation journals. I don't know if any of you have read Suleika Joad's book, The Alchemist. She has a fascinating approach about just being present to what you're doing and what you're feeling before you act. Sometimes you just want to take an action and not be present to how you're feeling. But I do feel that as I become more curious as to how I'm feeling, am I hungry? Am I thirsty? This really gives me a powerful place to be in. And that, I think, is what we all want when it comes to our health and well-being. We want to be in a place of a powerful ability to make choices every day that support us as we grow older, so that we're staying healthy and functional. that we're doing those daily steps, whether it be our movement, the whole foods that we're agreeing to eat every day. I have to find this book. There's a book that a gentleman wrote that's all about ice cream. He really doesn't want us to take that. And I agree that I don't want to take the rigid road either. I'm not a rigid road girl. I know it sounds a little crazy, my tracking everything. I get a lot of pleasure out of tracking stuff. Maybe that's the part of me that likes being a scientist. I don't know, or mathematical side of me. But truthfully, information is so powerful. To be able to look back and see last year, where was I? Was whatever I was tracking. I can look back last year and see what was going on in my journal, in my emotions, in my thoughts, in my feelings. And it's helpful to look back and say, that worked. This can help us if we understand how we're engaging with our life every day instead of just going through the motions. We all want to be here on this earth for as long as we possibly can so that we can be in the lives of the people we love and to be loved in return, whether it's our spouse, partners, our family members, our grandchildren, our nephews, our nieces, our good friends. All of those things matter. And when we really get to the heart of it, that's why it's so critical that we take a look back and say, what helped us? We're approaching the final week of January. What's helping you? What's important to you to be the healthiest version of who you are? How long do you want to be on this earth and be functional well into your 80s and 90s? Learning that what we do today matters in how we will live into our 80s and 90s. What we agree to today for our movement practices, for whole food choices, our caring for our spiritual and mind functioning is all so important. It sounds overwhelming at first, but if you break it down into what's that small step that I want to do today? Oh, I think I've chosen to drink an extra glass of water when I wake up. How simple is that, right? Once you start doing one little simple thing, the snowball effect starts happening, and then you find yourself adding other things so that you can be the best version of who you are. Doesn't happen suddenly, it happens over time. Just like our finances as we save them or put them in the stock market. It's that compounding interest that we want when it comes to our physical self. So be well, my friends. We have this one precious life. If you're thinking of taking a GLP-1 drug, have a conversation with your doctor. Plan what you're going to do when side effects show up. And that, I think, is really what's going to serve us all in the end. We have this one precious life. Let's live it to the fullest. Please subscribe. I would love to see you here each week where we can share and learn more about what we need to do daily to make ourselves the most vigorous and functional person well into our 80s and 90s. So I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. So thank you so much for joining me at Healthy by George. I hope you found the information inspiring and that it encourages you on your wellness journey. Because remember, your body, your well-being are a most precious gift, and every tiny action taken daily can make a huge difference. I hope the information here is educational purposes and is not meant to replace your medical care. See your doctor and talk about what works for you. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continuing creating content that inspires and empowers you to live your best life. Goodbye for now, and join me again at the next Healthy by George.